This is a Swede Speaks.
Earlier today, I met with a homeschooling couple here in the American Midwest, and I interviewed them about their experience. But before we take a look at that video, let me just say this. This is my day job. I am very grateful to all my financial supporters. Your support is necessary and much appreciated. Thank you very much. And if you like what I do, if you think what I do is important, and if it gives you some value, feel free to support my work through a one-time donation or by becoming a monthly supporter through Patreon. Look in the box below this video for information about how to donate. Now, let's get started. So today I'm here with John and Carol Ann, who are homeschoolers.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and well, I think to many of my viewers, homeschooling is a new concept or maybe an unknown concept. Well, not to my American viewers, of course, but to some of the Europeans it would be. So I would like to ask you a few questions on that topic. Sure. So just let's get started then.
Okay.
I'll start with a broad question. What is homeschooling?
It's basically you school your kids at home. So you as parents take on the primary responsibility of making sure your children get educated. And so it's a big responsibility. It's not to be taken lightly. And that's essentially what it means. You have to take care of. And then you have to follow whatever the requirements are for your country or in your state.
Right.
To accomplish that education.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do you have anything to add?
Sure. I think one of the things is that the misconception is that we actually teach everything. And what it really is more of is making sure that everything gets taught. So we have like co-op groups that meet where you can get certain classes done, and you can take 2 classes through the different schools, and you take classes online. So it's really essentially just overseeing your kids' education to make sure that everything is accomplished, but not necessarily that you yourself have to teach every single subject.
Okay.
And there's another misconception that people think, well, then we have like a room in our house that looks like a school classroom with
Right.
desks and whiteboard. And no, you educate wherever you are, whatever you're doing. So it can be around the dinner table, kitchen table. It can be outside. You can teach wherever you are. You can do field trips. You can teach on the road. So it's all over the place. We don't have a classroom for our kids. It's just wherever we are. That's where we do the educating.
Okay. Thank you. So what is the legal status of homeschooling in the state of Wisconsin and maybe also in the United States of America?
Yeah, it is legal in the United States and in Wisconsin to homeschool your own children. Each state sets their own set of rules and requirements. Wisconsin is one of the few states that are very friendly towards homeschooling. So the requirements are very low. You have to register with the state every year, and then they give you a list of these are the subjects you have to teach, and that's all the requirements there are.
Okay. Is homeschooling, is that a religious thing, a specific Christian thing?
We include our faith and our beliefs in the homeschooling, but it's not required. For the state, it's not even mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's really not a religious thing, although we are part of a religious group of homeschoolers, just because that's our choice.
Right.
To choose a group like that. But homeschooling is really across the spectrum.
Yeah. Okay. How do you receive the materials from which you teach?
Each homeschool family picks the curriculum or the style they want to do, and then it's your responsibility to go out and purchase those materials.
Okay.
So the ones that we use, we have bought from different sources.
More online, there's a lot of homeschooling sites online that you can buy the materials from. You can even buy them from Amazon. And then in our Christian homeschool group, we have a day every year where the families come together and they sell their used materials, and other people can buy them, so they can swap like that.
Okay, that sounds practical.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you already touched a little on this, but are homeschoolers or homeschool children in any way controlled by the authorities or by the government?
It depends on the state and the regulations for each state. For Wisconsin, like I said, the only regulation is the submitting of the form that declares you are homeschooling for the year, and it lays out what subjects you teach. But other than that, there isn't any requirements for the state of Wisconsin. Other states are different, where you have to take tests every year or submit other forms or other materials to the state for review, but not for Wisconsin.
Okay. So
That's
it.
yeah, and then if they want more information about that, I would recommend going to the Homeschool Legal Defense Association. That website has more information for every state and can direct people to get the appropriate.
That's great. Thank you. So I'll add a few links under this video once it's uploaded. Are there any statistics on results of homeschooled children versus the results from public school education?
There are, I don't know what they are off the top of my head. I would refer to those links for that. But we do know, like, we have 2 of our children are going into college now.
Yeah.
And the colleges are very receptive and open, willing, looking forward to homeschool students coming in. So we create the transcripts at the end of the year because we know what we've taught them, and so they accept those, and they can start their college studies
Right.
without any trouble. So, and our daughter's college, they even have a homeschool graduate who is now working at the college to help homeschoolers apply and get enrolled in the colleges. So there are statistics about the results, but most of what we've seen is, of course, we're a little biased. Is that
Well, everyone is biased.
homeschooler students are higher quality educated than typical public school. But
that would be my
Yeah.
biased guess too.
Yeah. And
I think because you can individualize their education, and so they also can get a lot more in the same amount of school time because they don't have to wait for other kids.
Right.
And the recess periods so if you're really excelling in math, you can just push as much as you want, or if history is really your forte, I mean, you can absorb so much about history. So I think especially when they find the things they love, that the kids are very well educated because they can spend so much extra time
Right.
just absorbing material.
Oh, that's great. Before we move on, do you have some books?
I
here?
do. I was just going to show. We work our way just through textbooks like all the other students in school would. So we got some textbooks, and so the education-wise, book-wise, is we do the same thing. Work through the tests, answer the questions, take the quizzes, get grades. And for Wisconsin, you have to show progression. So you
Right.
show that you start in Algebra 1, then you move on, and you cover all of the main classes that you would, especially for high school. There's certain graduation requirements, so we would hold to those too. Our kids have taken those same types of classes, and that's kind of the way it's done.
so we look to the local high schools to see what their curriculum is
Right.
and requirements for graduation, and that's what we do. Now, that's not required for the state of Wisconsin, but that's how we.
Okay, it's an easy way to do it.
Easy way to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How would you feel if homeschooling was illegal?
That would be, now that we've done it, that would be really hard. Because we would, like, we had our kids in school originally,
Right.
and so we know what it's like to be in school, and there's nothing wrong with school. We just wanted that one-on-one with our kids, and so we chose to homeschool. If it wasn't legal, well, then we would send it in the school system. We'd have to.
Right.
Yeah.
We now that we know what it's like, we feel for those families who are in that situation who want to, but can't.
Right.
So we feel for them because it is a special bond between you and your children that develop. And then also as parents, it's a special responsibility that you take, and you feel more involved in your children's upbringing.
Right.
And then you're teaching them, well, you're teaching them the subjects that are required for the state, but you're also teaching them in context of what is important to you.
Yeah.
And so you can teach your science and your math and your reading, all in our case, it's within the Christian environment and belief system. And so that's one benefit that we really enjoy with the homeschooling.
Yeah. Do you want to add
I
something?
think too, well, I can see your next question is why do you homeschool? So I'm going to just jump into that one because I think that's part of it too, is that for us it was being able to mold our children. So while you're learning Spanish, like our kids did Spanish online, they learned so many computer skills because they had to do their homework online and submit it online, but also the communication skills. They had to call and talk to their teacher after every chapter, and just that interaction of calling an adult, answering questions, that within the Spanish, they didn't just learn Spanish, but they learned computer skills and communication skills. And it's more of, to me, the fact that I've wanted to teach my kids to learn. And, you know, in life, it's really about what do you need to know and how can you communicate that to someone in a meaningful way so that they get what they need. Like your boss at work. You know, he wants something.
Yeah.
You got to figure out what does he want,
yeah,
where are you going to get that information, and how are you going to convey that information in a useful way. And so that's really, to me, what it is. It's that you're learning all the different subjects, but you're really learning to learn, and then learning to be able to communicate that in a meaningful way. And so it's neat to do that. You know, the underlining thing is not just what they've learned out of a book,
yeah,
but what you can teach them beyond the book.
It's interesting that you say that, because about a year ago, actually maybe closer to 1.5 years ago, I made a comment on Swedish homeschoolers who moved to Finland, because in Sweden homeschooling is illegal, but in Finland it's legal. And they interviewed some of these homeschoolers, and one of them said that many homeschooled kids actually become entrepreneurs.
Sure.
So I guess that would sort of underline what you just said.
Sure, I think because especially homeschooling is sort of outside of the box. So, you know, regular school, this is kind of what you do this, you go here. And I think homeschool families are sort of outside of already the realm of what's, you know, like the norm.
Yeah.
And so I think they are more willing to take challenges and start things and kind of look for differences.
Yeah. So do you have anything to add, John, on why you homeschool?
No. But I know there's a common concern for homeschoolers that people feel that, well, then what do you do for social interaction with the kids?
Right.
That really isn't a problem. We're part of a homeschool group, so they get social interaction there. We're really involved in the library. We find when we have family gatherings and we have family members who are in traditional school and our kids are homeschooled, it's interesting that it seems like our kids are more comfortable conversing with adults of the family than the school kids are, which makes sense because school kids are mostly talking with those amongst them peers.
Yeah.
So there really isn't any concern or needed for that the kids will be socially inept or something, because they're just fine. And when you're out in the real world, you know, after college, you know, usually your coworkers are all different ages.
Yeah.
So it's not really an issue that, you know, not everybody where you work or where you live are all the same age. So you learn to get along with multi-age people.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so thank you very much for taking the time to explain this to us.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. As I said, I am very grateful to all my financial supporters. This is my day job, so thank you all very much. And if you like what I do, if you think what I do is important and that I should continue doing this, please consider sending me $1 or $2 or 10 or 100. That's always greatly appreciated. Also, subscribe, comment, like and share my videos, and keep us at Swede Studio in your prayers, please. And remember to check out my live stream on Saturday at noon Honolulu time, 1 p.m. Anchorage time, 2 p.m. Seattle time, 3 p.m. El Paso time, 4 p.m. Chicago time, 5 p.m. Toronto time, 10 p.m. London time, 11 p.m. Copenhagen time, midnight Helsinki time, and Sunday morning 1 a.m. Moscow time. I hope to see you all there. Until next time, have a nice day and God bless.